News on the march! Legendary was the Xanadu, where Kubla Khan decreed his stately pleasure dome. Today, almost as legendary is Florida's Xanadu, world's largest private pleasure ground. Here, on the deserts of the Gulf Coast, a private mountain was commissioned and successfully built. 100,000 trees, 20,000 tons of marble are the ingredients of Xanadu's mountain. Contents of Xanadu's palace. Paintings, pictures, statues, the very stones of many another palace. A collection of everything, so big it can never be catalogued or appraised. Enough for 10 museums, the loot of the world. Xanadu's livestock, the fowl of the air, the fish of the sea, the beast of the field and jungle, 2 of each, the biggest private zoo since Noah. Like the pharaohs, Xanadu's landlord leaves many stones to mark his grave. Since the pyramids, Xanadu is the costliest monument a man has built to himself.
To be Michael, the king of pop, and these Metro Detroiters say he is the standard.
There is absolutely, hands down, nobody that will ever fill his shoes, that will ever be the entertainer that he was.
Michael Jackson was a thriller, a legend, a pop icon, a trendsetter, an innovator, a superstar.
From ABC to Thriller, my whole life was revolved like listening to his music.
I love everything about Michael Jackson, from the way he danced, from the way he sang, the way he can hear a beat.
Hundreds of people have gathered in front of the Motown Museum, most of them with heavy hearts, but a profound respect for the man who they say could sure make some music, and he did it right here.
Michael was like a son to Detroit.
We can come and say this is where it all began, that the greatest entertainer that ever lived stepped foot in this place.
A lot of Detroiters say losing Michael Jackson feels like losing one of our own.
When someone like that dies, Detroit dies too, a little bit in their heart.
Nobody's prepared for a day like today, but what great musical memories we have about Michael Jackson.
This piece of priceless history that now lives in Motown says it all.
We got to move back.
Detroiters have a lot to be proud of. Michael Jackson is no longer with us, but there is an archive of his music that is yet to be released. So for his music, it is not the end. And Aaron, I'm joined right now live by Aaron Maddock of Detroit. You want to share a picture with us that you took with Michael some time ago. How much does it mean to have this picture? Now
It means a lot to me that I actually got to meet a legend right there in my face. I was 15 years old, and it's the greatest.
Thank you so much.
The greatest person that ever made the industry went diamond in 1 week.
An awesome musician, and Metro Detroiters are sad, but they are celebrating his life tonight. We're live downtown. Andrea.
All right, thanks very much, Andrea. Michael Jackson made several visits here to Detroit throughout his career. One man was in charge of protecting the pop star while he was in town. Fox 2's Ron Savage met with Jackson's former bodyguard, who shared his memories of Michael.
He borrows his duty cap. Michael Jackson poses with a Wayne County Sheriff deputy. And Sergeant John Laney was assigned to do all of their security.
Well, I first heard about it on TV. And I then called Mr. Jackson.
Here's Sergeant Laney following Michael years later, shopping at the Northland Mall in Southfield. The Jackson family kept Laney on to work security for all of the Jacksons, parents included.
He was a good person. Good person, down to earth. Him and I talk just like we talking now.
His phone won't stop ringing at Laney's Northwest Detroit home. Michael Jackson's family and friends all stunned by the news.
Boy, this is a shock, I'll tell you. I mean, who would have expected this? 50 years old. Oh, my gosh, it's just really sad. I feel terrible for his children. It's just really tragic news.
Celebrity photojournalist, published author, and former Fox 2 entertainment reporter Linda Solomon shot pictures of Jackson and was invited by Michael to his family's home in L.A. From her Bloomfield Township home, Solomon fondly remembers the king of pop.
The first time I photographed him was here at the Motown Museum, and he was with Berry Gordy. And he was so nice, and he was really easy to work with then, and Esther Gordy Edwards was there with him, and it was just so exciting to have him here in Detroit.
His death, stunning news to his fans and those who worked with him in Metro Detroit. Ron Savage, Fox 2 News.
He was nicknamed the King of Pop, and tonight the king is gone. It's a tragic end to an amazing and sometimes bizarre life in the spotlight. Fox's Dan Springer takes a look back at Michael Jackson.
With the bizarre stories of plastic surgery, child molestation, and outlandish personal habits, it was sometimes hard to remember that Michael Jackson was once the biggest name in the music industry. In fact, he still holds claim to one of the top-selling records in history, his multi-Grammy-winning masterpiece, Thriller. While his fame grew to stratospheric levels in the mid-1980s, Jackson's career started off at age 4, when at the urging of his domineering father, he and his brothers formed the Jackson 5, responsible for such hits as I'll Be There and ABC. The group recorded 13 albums in 7 years, all with young Michael in the lead, displaying a depth of passion and soul uncharacteristic for a child his age. While his first solo release was in 1972, Jackson came into his own with his 1979 album, Off the Wall, which spawned 4 top 10 hits and marked the beginning of his long professional relationship with producer Quincy Jones. Jones was also the force behind 1982's Thriller, which besides spending 37 weeks at #1 and selling 46 million copies, helped revolutionize a whole new medium, the music video. Jackson followed this up with well-received albums such as Bad and Dangerous, but his eccentricities soon outshone his professional fame. Stories abounded of numerous facial surgeries, his fascination with exotic animals, and his attempt to buy the remains of the grotesquely deformed Elephant Man. In 1984, his hair caught fire while filming a Pepsi commercial, but that was nothing compared to the turmoil yet to come.
I am hoping for a speedy end to this horrifying experience to which I have been subjected.
In 1993, a 13-year-old California boy filed a lawsuit accusing Jackson of sexual battery. After repeated denials and an undisclosed financial settlement, the suit was dropped, but Jackson's reputation was seriously damaged.
Please welcome Mr. and Mrs. Michael Jackson.
In the midst of his legal battle, Jackson married Lisa Marie Presley. The marriage dissolved after 16 months. Prompting some to suggest it was staged in order to create a family image for the pop star. 9 months after the divorce, Jackson tied the knot again, this time with dermatologist assistant Debbie Rowe. Marriage number 2 lasted 3 years and produced 2 children, son Prince Michael and daughter Paris Michael Catherine.
He's a mean, he's a racist, and he's very, very, very devilish.
In 2002, Jackson repeatedly made headlines, first while accusing his label Sony Music of racism, and a few months later when he testified in a California trial accusing him of backing out of a series of concerts. Then, just days later, the pop star shocked the world once again. Greeting fans from the 4th floor of his hotel in Berlin, Jackson dangled a 9-month-old baby, later confirmed to be his previously unknown 3rd child, off a balcony while waving to onlookers.
I'd like you to meet Michael.
While observers will argue over Jackson's behavior, music historians will cite his indelible imprint on the recording industry, and his fans will always remember him with the title he gave himself, the King of Pop. His unique vocal and dance styles and his keen sense of showmanship gave the world a sensational performance it won't soon forget. Dan Springer, Fox News.
Michael Jackson was pronounced dead at UCLA Medical Center in California. The crowd outside the hospital has been growing all evening. Kelly Carter, who is from Detroit, is a celebrity reporter with USA Today, and she joins us now live on the phone from outside the medical center. Kelly, are you there?
I am.
Describe the fan reaction outside the hospital tonight.
You know, it's pretty, everything that you would expect. I mean, there are people who made homemade, posters, and they're holding them up in tribute of Michael Jackson, and people who somehow have found his album covers and had them blown up to poster size that are holding them up in tears. At times people are chanting Michael, 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 or MJ, MJ, and at other times they're singing some of his more popular slow ballads in tribute of him.
Are you hearing anything new from the doctors tonight?
Well, all we're hearing right now, they actually just took the body to the LA coroners, and the plan is that they're going to, do the autopsy and have it done by about 3 o'clock tomorrow Pacific time, and then release it to the family. Right now, we're just understanding that it was a cardiac arrest, and that's what ultimately, what he was brought in for. He wasn't breathing when they found him on the scene, and they're going to try and figure out, what happened and kind of rule out any type of homicide.
How did the crowd react when that helicopter took off from the hospital?
I mean, people are very upset, but people are also kind of celebratory, too. I think their immediate reaction was kind of to cheer Michael Jackson as a pop star. So there's lots of claps, lots of cheers, lots of singing, lots of celebration. But at the same time, I mean, those are mixed with tears and sadness, too. I mean, these are people who are just ultimate Michael Jackson fans who immediately came out on the scene to try and be a part of this and to try and find out alongside the dozens and dozens of national and international media what happened today.
Yeah, we know it's kind of a crazy scene there. We know it's early. There's still a lot of shock, but any word on services to remember Michael Jackson?
No, Jermaine Jackson, he spoke to reporters today in the auditorium at the hospital, was very solemn, as you might imagine, and it was told to us that he'll be the only person that will be speaking on behalf of the Jackson family. And what he's asked for at this time is just media privacy and privacy from the fans. So we don't even know if we're going to expect getting any type of release about a celebration. There was much chatter in the last few months of his life about Michael converting to a completely different religion. The family religion is Jehovah's Witnesses, and if they follow the family, religious tradition, then we certainly won't expect any type of big send-off for Michael Jackson. But if they want to somehow recognize a celebrity, that we're not sure.
All right. Kelly Carter reporting live to us on the phone from Los Angeles. Thanks, Kelly.
No, thank you.
11 years ago, Michael Jackson teamed up with Stevie Wonder and Detroit millionaire Don Barton. They had big plans to build a casino and amusement park right here in the Motor City. Here's Bill Gallagher's report from July of 1998.
Michael Jackson made a theatric entrance to unveil his plan for a billion-dollar entertainment complex in downtown Detroit. Jackson is partners with businessman and would-be Detroit casino operator Don Barton. The project is called Majestic Kingdom, and the plan includes the Michael Jackson Thriller theme park and the Majestic Star Casino along the Detroit River. Jackson has worked quietly behind the scenes on other theme park developments.
And creating some of the most wonderful themes as humanly possible for the heart, for the childlike heart that lives inside every man and woman.
But it's clear the whole plan hinges on Barton's quest to get a casino license. The city rejected his original plan. Jackson and Barton's plan is to build an entertainment mecca on 75 acres of land on the Detroit River near the Ambassador Bridge. Entertainment industry analysts question Jackson's ability to pull off the billion-dollar casino and theme park planned here. They point to his history of abandoning big projects after announcing them with much fanfare like Detroit's. In recent years, his plans for theme parks in Poland and South Korea simply haven't panned out.
And that elaborate plan never got off the ground. Don Barton once told us that despite Jackson's wealth and fame, in many ways he still was naive and didn't quite comprehend the real world. Coming up later, right here on Let It Rip, the panel talks about the life and legacy of Michael Jackson, the glory years, and the controversial charges. It's all later on Let It Rip.
We better get started. What have you been doing all this time?
Playing with a jigsaw puzzle?
If you could have found out what that rosebud meant, I bet that would have explained everything.
No, I don't think so. No. Mr. Kane was a man who got everything he wanted and then lost it. Maybe Rosebud was something he couldn't get or something he lost. Anyway, it wouldn't have explained anything. I don't think any word can explain a man's life. No, I guess Rosebud is just a piece in a jigsaw puzzle. A missing piece. Well, come on, everybody. We'll miss the train.